Welcome to Card Player TV's Online Zone. I'm your host, Julio Rodriguez, and I'm joined on the phone by Jason NovaSky Koon. Jason, how you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
Now, Jason, I just want to remind our audience of your accomplishments because you've had a pretty sick March and April. So in March, you take down the 1K Monday for about $90,000. In April, you finish second in the UB $200,000 guaranteed. You follow that up by taking a $300,000 score in one of the Scoop rebuy events, and then you take down the Sunday Mulligan. I mean, how has this month been for you, man?
It just feels unreal. I don't know. I don't think it's still sunk in. It's I don't know. I still feel like the same guy, just a little better bank account.
I hear that. Now, for those who are unfamiliar, can you talk about your story? What got you into poker? Basically how you got into the game.
Whenever I was in school, I had never even really thought about poker like most people until the moneymaker days or whatever. But I was in college and. So just a couple home games were going around. A couple of my buddies asked me to come play $10 buy-in, and I got killed. I was absolutely terrible, and it drove me nuts to lose. So I don't know. I read a couple books and beat my home game, and basically thought I was the best player in the world. So I put $50 online and got killed there, and I don't know. Just kind of went from there. I had a couple small scores, a couple of small like $26 tournament wins, and that caught my attention, and I realized, hey, this is real money, and I really started putting a lot of work into it and trying to improve, and had a couple really nice scores, and basically, long story short, I finished up my MBA last spring, and I got a job up in Pittsburgh selling group insurance, and that October, I had a pretty big month. I think I had a week where I made like 50 or 60K, and I decided to quit my job and give it a shot, and been rolling from there.
So how did the friends and family take it when you told them that you were leaving the secure working life for a unsecure life in poker?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Like, I think my friends gave me a harder time than my mom and my family did. It's a really great job that I had. Potential six-figure-a-year job, and I spent 5 years in college getting my MBA so I could, get a good job like that, and then out of nowhere, I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna take a shot at it. But for the most part, everyone was really supportive, and they knew how hard I worked at it, and how much passion I have for the game and for learning. And I went through some tough times, and I really doubted myself, like. From October, from that big week I had up until early January, or up until the week where I won the 1K and got second in the brawl, I was on a $70,000 downswing, which for me is a ton of money. So
of course,
it was tough for me, but I just I had good friends in the poker world, and they just kept telling me to suck it up and buckle down and just play through it, and I did, and here I am.
Now I gotta talk to you about the downswing and just turning pro in general. It seems like a lot of players when they have that cushion of a job to fall back on, winning is a little easier. But then all of a sudden, when the pressure's on you to really produce at the tables, that's when the losing starts. How do you power through that?
Well, I mean, the bottom line is you got to realize, hey, if you're a winning player and you're playing smart and you're not tilting and you're playing your best and working to improve every day, it's going to come around. This is a really volatile game, and there's going to be a lot of variance, but you just got to keep working hard and keep doing your best to say, you know what, it's not me running bad, it's what can I do to make myself better. So regardless if I'm running under expectation, I need to, ask myself, what could I have done better that tournament? Because obviously I'm making some mistakes there, and you just need to focus on what you can control and just let the cards fall the way they're going to fall, because it's going to come for you. You're going to give your bad beats and you're going to take your bad beats, but you've just got to focus on improving and just what you can do from every aspect of the game to get better.
Well, it's really rare to see a poker player check their ego at the door like that. Now, we talked a little bit about your tournament success so far the past 2 months. What about cash games? Do you ever delve into those at all?
Well, I mean, that's where the true poker players are, and I definitely have interest in trying to climb the ranks. I've dabbled in heads. I really love heads up poker. I've been playing a lot of like higher buy-in heads up sit and goes lately. My good friend is Pure Cash 25. He's one of the best sit and go players in the world, heads up, and he's been trying his best to help me. And I know it's been a lot of work for him, but so I've been doing that and having some success. And I'm going to take a shot at learning cash games after the World Series is over. It's just there's so many different aspects to this game. You got your MTTs and then your heads up sit and goes and your cash games and all that, and they all take so much work and so much time. So right now I know, I'm a good MTT player. I'm not the best MTT player, so it's like I want to put all my energy into that, especially with the World Series coming up, and do my best to be on my A game there. So yeah, I'm gonna take a shot at seeing what I can do, because I want to be great at all levels of the game, but it's just going to take so much time.
Now I want to talk about your Scoop event victory. I mean, you get to this final table, I believe it was a $2,000 rebuy, and you have, Stevie Money, Gator 93, you got Havad Khan, T Soprano, Alanon. I mean, all these are pretty sick players at this final table, and you came out on top. Was that one of the most difficult things you've done online?
Yeah, that tournament was such a grind, actually. It was like 15 and a half hours or something. It's so funny. I didn't decide to play that tournament until like 5 minutes before it started. And my first table draw had like AJK, DJK on my left, and like a bunch of these, killers. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I got myself into here? But I basically just tried to sit tight and play good solid poker and not get too out of line, which I did a little bit later, but but I tried not to get out of line early. And once I got to the final table, I had a lot of chips and I was feeling really confident. And I've played with these guys a good bit. Stevie Money he's a friend of mine. He's a really nice guy. He's a good player, and we've talked poker and things like that. So that actually helped me to calm down a little bit at the final table. But yeah, I mean, it was huge for me, But I just tried to keep telling myself what I would do. Like, every poker player thinks about it. Like, if I get to the main event final table, am I going to lock up? Am I going to freeze up because there's so much money on the line because the jumps are so big? But I was prepared. I told myself, if I do make this final table, I'm gonna treat it like I would any other MTT. I'm just gonna try my best to adapt to my opponents and to the situations and go from there. And the cards felt nice for me, and I felt like I played a pretty good game. I may have played a little too careful at the final table. There were a couple of hands where, in retrospect, I think I lost some value, but everything worked out.
And then, of course, you went on to beat Stevie Money Merrifield heads up for the win. Now, you mentioned Alex Camberis was at your starting table, who actually won the 2008 Online Player of the Year race here in Card Player. You're currently in 14th place. Any serious thoughts to making a run at it, or are you just going to take it as it comes?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like I think anytime I start concerning myself with putting in a lot of volume or trying to be, high ranked on the Card Player of the Year, or trying to make it up the ranks in Pocket Fives or whatever, it's putting a little bit too much pressure on myself. I'm just going to try my best to improve and make some good runs in tournaments, and not really try to think about it too much. It's it's going to be so hard to pass up your Jaboro or your Sean Deeb, those guys who are just killers. And it's I feel really honored just to be having such a great year and make it where I'm at. And I think it's just looking at my name and seeing it with all these other great names is it just feels great. And I don't know, I don't really have any, I'd love to be in the race, but I'm not going to put a ton of pressure on myself or set really high expectations for some kind of rankings.
Cool, man. Well, you mentioned the World Series, and you're jobless. So, what kind of schedule are you looking at for this summer? Are you gonna grind out the Venetian, Caesars, Binions, Bellagio, and World Series, or are you just gonna take it easy?
I'm actually gonna play all of basically every No Limit Hold'em, excluding the 40K. I'm gonna play the heads up events, and I'm going to play, starting after the World Series even, I'm going to try to play all the big live events. I'm pretty excited to travel around with my friends, and I think I'm going to hit the road with Pure Cash 25 and Hicks, and we're going to try to get out there and get some major wins. But as for the World Series, I'm just going to play all the no-limit hold'ems, and if there's any big action elsewhere, I'm sure I'll be there.
Well, hopefully you don't have to play all of them and you make it deep in a couple. Jason, thank you very much for being on the show, and good luck the rest of the way, man.
Thanks, Julio. It's an honor.
All right, I'd like to thank you guys for watching Card Player TV's Online Zone. Have a good one.